All right, you guys ready? All right, good morning. I'm Chief Terry Monahan. With me is Assistant Chief Jeff Madry, Commanding Officer of Patrol Borough Brooklyn North, Deputy Chief Mike Kemper, Commanding Officer of Brooklyn North Detectives, and Captain Craig Edelman, the 7-3 Commanding Officer. Before I give a briefing on this morning's police-involved shooting, I want to remind everyone the information I'm about to give is preliminary, as this is still an ongoing investigation. Earlier this morning, at approximately 2:36 a.m., officers in uniform assigned to the 7-3 precinct were patrolling the area of Howard Avenue and Dumont Avenue when they observed a suspicious male wearing a mask on his face. When the three officers who were inside their patrol car attempted to speak to the male, he immediately fled towards 788 Howard Avenue. One officer exited the vehicle and the other two drove onto Howard Avenue. The perpetrator then fired numerous rounds at their vehicle, striking it. The first officer who exited the car then exchanged gunfire with the perpetrator. However, he was able to flee from the officers. Approximately 30 minutes later, a resident alerted additional officers that a male was attempting to break into a backyard in Howard Avenue. As uniformed patrol officers gained entry to the backyard, they were fired upon numerous times and exchanged gunfire with the same perpetrator. These officers became pinned down at the location due to the perpetrator firing. Additional officers, including the emergency service unit, also made entry into the backyard area where rounds continued to be fired by the perpetrator. Our officers returned fire and the man was then taken into custody. A total of 7 officers fired their weapon. 1 officer fired on Howard Avenue and 6 additional officers fired in the backyard location. The male was taken to Brookdale Hospital, where he was pronounced deceased. A semi-automatic handgun was recovered from the scene. Again, the great work by our cops today demonstrates once again how they never hesitate to go into harm's way to keep our city safe. All the officers were taken to the hospital just to be treated, make sure they're all right, but everyone's okay. We have a video here, a picture. This is the R&P with a bullet hole on the passenger side front door. And in the backyard, it's a little hard to see, this is the semi-automatic gun that was recovered in the backyard. Questions?
Hoping you can describe the mask. What was so ominous about it?
He had his face covered walking down the street, which is kind of suspicious on a warm evening. So they went to stop him. He immediately ran. When he turned the corner, as the cops are turning the corner, takes the gun out and fires at the police officers. We have that on video.
Is there any estimate as to how many rounds? Because this was like the Wild West at some point.
There were a lot of rounds fired. Approximately 9 rounds were fired by our officers on Howard Avenue. And it's still an approximation, but in the backyard, it looks like we fired 55 rounds. We're still counting his shell casings to see how many he fired. So he fired both on Howard and in the backyard.
And where was he hit?
He was hit numerous times in the body.
Do you have any idea why he was walking around with a mask, what he was doing?
It's all part of the ongoing investigation. Again, this only happened a couple hours ago.
And there were talk that maybe he was wearing body armor as well, anything about that? Or just
No,
a mask?
just a mask, just a mask.
So he was breaking into a backyard. Was he trying to make entry to a house, or was he
Into a house. He was in the backyards on Howard trying to break into a house. Someone alerted us to that, and then we went into the backyard. As soon as we go into the backyard, he engages in gunfire with us.
Is he known to you?
We still haven't identified him.
1 or 2 more?
So to be clear, did he fire at the cop car initially, or at the officer?
Initially at the cop car. As the cop car turns the corner on Howard, on video we have him turning, firing at the cop car. Our other officer who had exited the car then engages him on the sidewalk on Howard.
Do you have any idea how many times he was shot?
Who? Perpetrated? No, numerous times, still working on that.
Was the video from body cam?
We have body cam video, but there was also local video that we got that shows him firing at the car.
And to be clear, your guys were evaluated, not injured?
Yes, not injured, just evaluated.
And the exact address of the house, the backyard?
Backyard of Howard Avenue.
No.
No.
Any preliminaries on this suspect, age range?
We're at the hospital right now trying to identify him.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.